Today we're going time traveling back to a video that I have remixed of travel book reviews here on Amara in Seattle. As you all may have noticed, I like books a great deal, and some of the books that I love the most are travel books. Not surprising. I get a lot of inspiration from them. I have an old video that used to be on the Amara Not In Seattle channel for some travel books that I think are still really good. They're ones I still return to that I have remixed. These are both books that I still love, and they're books that I think are worth talking about. Back to past Amara to share some recommendations on some books she loves that I still love. We are talking today about travel books, yay! I am a bit of a book nerd, and by a bit of a book nerd, I mean I'm a pretty major book nerd. However, I haven't talked that much about travel books, and travel books are one of the ways that I bring travel into my life when I can't go other places. That's what I do, is I read books. This is The Longest Way Home. Its subtitle is One Man's Quest for the Courage to Settle Down. The guy on the cover is the reason I picked up this book. This is Andrew McCarthy. If you really love John Hughes films, or you're really big like film person, you'll know he was part of the Brat Pack. Over time, he made a transition into writing. Yeah, National Geographic, Traveler, the New York Times, The Atlantic, Wall Street Journal. And this was his first book. These are travel stories, stories about the human aspects of travel. Andrew McCarthy has a long-term fiance, and he seems unable to kind of commit to marrying her. And he can't figure out why. So he takes this big travel trip to kind of examine what he's got going on. He goes up like parts of Kilimanjaro, and he goes through rainforests. This book is so much less about the actual trip and the travel and much more about the personal development that happens through those unique experiences. He goes to some places that are not the ones that are always covered. It's not Paris and all the places you hear about all the time. This is the Amazon and the Oza and like Patagonia. It is very, very digestible. Smaller paragraphs, pretty concise writing, easy to kind of pick up a bit of it and treat it like a story and then move on. And sometimes I find travel books where I'll find really huge blocks of text or overly wrought details. Does a really great job of creating an understanding of a situation so that you feel like you're there. And that's exactly at least what I look for from a travel writer. Really, really enjoyed The Longest Way Home, and I really hope he writes another one. I think Andrew McCarthy actually just wrote a young adult book, but I hope he does another travel book because I really have enjoyed this, and maybe I just need to go seek out some of his like independent small articles. Another book that I really love that's a totally different kind of travel book is Travel as a Political Act. This is a book by Rick Steves. He's a long-standing hero of mine. This book is about how important it is for people to meet people in order to build the world that we want. And there's a series of nice stories in here, but there's also really unique perspectives. One of the things I think we get from travel and travel professionals, if they're really good at their jobs, we get stories that make us feel like we're in a place and seeing something unique happen to you as an individual. We also get the possibility to understand cultures in ways you can't understand unless you're in them. And I think travel is a political act. It doesn't just tell you these stories, it makes an argument for why these moments are absolutely critical to the world connecting with each other. I think there's something really important about that kind of travel and about the part of travel that's about meeting people. One of the things I'm the most passionate about is people connect with people while they're traveling, the experiences they have, and how those things can move us all forward. This one is absolutely littered in highlighter. You guys see every time you see some pink in there, that's something I highlighted. Talks about particular issues like globalization and about how time enters into the relationship between places. One of the things that I think is really impressive about this kind of call to action, Travel as a Political Act, is that in the end of it, not to be all like spoilers, but there's a section, he talks about specific experiences that he has had and places that have changed him and made travel so important through his experiences and the experiences of people involved with Rick Steves' brand. There's also a section at the back where he talks about homecoming, how you can move global perspective into what you do when you're home, the forward movement of you as a person. So how travel is a continuum. And I hope that's one of the things that is really clear to people who are part of Amara Not In Seattle or Amara in Seattle, is that I really, really believe in the idea of taking experiences and threading them into the rest of your life. I made a video rather recently called Turning Memories into Motivation, which was all about taking these moments and things that inspired me while I traveled and moving them into something visual that I could use as motivation motivation going forward. I think there's something really important about taking travel experiences that you have and sharing them forward so that other people get a little proxy piece of that travel inspiration and a little proxy piece of that travel learning that you get. There are some kinds of lessons that you only get from going somewhere else and learning things from the people there. And I think this is a wonderful, wonderful book about connectivity, community. Everybody's better the more they know, and there's a kind of learning that just happens beyond borders. I think this is a really great book. There's also a section, not to be all like, I'm a huge Rick Steves enthusiast, which I am. There's an entire section about the trips that he's been doing to Iran lately. His travels in the Middle East have been really enlightening and interesting and provide kind of an open door to a culture that seems sometimes inaccessible, I think, to, at least to me, and I think probably to a lot of Americans. So that is something that I love about this. A book I love, a book that gave me a lot to like thought chew on, and a book that I return to in a travel sense regularly. I'm thinking about my relationship with travel a lot because of having spent less time traveling in the last couple of years. So as someone who's about to start traveling again and someone who loves travel, you can hit subscribe if you'd like to be part of the next adventure. Let me know in the comments below, what is a travel book that you love, if you have one that you love or one that you've heard of, or if you don't like travel books, let me know about other books you like. I read across genres, like for real. Adventures here in Amara in Seattle center around the idea of community. That can mean events, that can mean travel, that can mean adventures out into the world to see how communities connect. Often there are bookish things, just because I'm a bookish person. There really are a lot of books right there. Here's a travel book I just read. Like, I read a lot. Hope that you all are having a wonderful time. I'm about to go get lost, not in travel, but in editing. Amara, not in Seattle. She's editing. The fact that I decided to put on a lot of glittering clothing, that just happened. I love these books. I do. Okay. Bye, Rockstars. Have a good rest of the day.